So this is going to be from chapter 2, expansion and factorization. So we're going to go to expansion first. So let's take this expression, 2 times 7. So 2 times 7, what would that equal? Of course, that's 14. Now 2 times 7 equals 14. But there's another way to write this. That is, you can write this expression as either 2 bracket 7 or 7 bracket 2. So that's just another way to write multiplication. And now we'll move on to the next expression. Now 2 bracket 3 plus 2. Of course, it's 2 times in the bracket 3 plus 2. So first we'll simplify the things in the bracket first. So 3 plus 2 is going to be 5. So 2 times 5, that's going to be 10. Okay, but there's another way to do this. So you can also multiply the numbers in this bracket with the outside number. So 2 times bracket 3 plus 2, you can actually just multiply this number by 2 and this number by 2. So 2 multiplied by 3 will be 6, and 2 multiplied by 2 will be 4. So that's going to give us the same answer, 10. Now, how would this be helpful, you might ask? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so let's take the expression 3 times 5x plus 2 in the bracket. So, of course, you can try to simplify 5x plus 2. It's the same as this, but you can't simplify it because this is an unknown variable. So, the only way to simplify this equation, to expand this equation, is to use this method right here. So we're going to expand it by multiplying 5x with 3 and then 3 with 2. So 3 times 5x will be 15x, and 3 times 2 will be 6. So that's the expanded form of this equation. Okay, so now let's move on to another equation of this. What we're going to do is we're going to times this first number in this first bracket right here with the first and second number in the second bracket. I'm going to do the same for the second number in the first bracket. So x times 2 and x times 5x, 7 times 2, 7 times 5x. So that's actually going to be the same as so yeah. And so let's simplify this. X times 2 and x times 5x, 7 times 2, 7 times 5x. So 2 times x will be 2x, 5x times x will be 5x squared, 7 times 2 will be 14, and 7 times 5x will be 35x. We're going to simplify this, we're going to group the like terms. So 35x plus 2x will be 37x plus 5x squared plus 14. We're going to arrange this in, like, the first term will be the x squared term. So 5x squared plus 37x plus 14. So that's how to expand this, and this types of equation. Okay, so now we're going to move on to factorization. Before we move on to factorization, I'm going to give you a few formulas if I need to know. So the first one is going to be a plus b bracket a minus b will be equivalent to a squared minus b squared. The second will be a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. The third one will be a minus b times itself, so it will be squared, equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. These formulas are actually very helpful to both expand and factorize. Especially helpful in factorizing, and it will be quite convenient to expand some equations. So there are multiple ways to factorize, and I'll show you two in this video. So let's take a polynomial, for this one for example. So 5x plus 37 plus 14. Factorizing is going to be the opposite of expansion. So instead of expanding this equation in this form to this, factorization is just going to be reversed. So we're going to turn this form back into this. How do you turn this back into this? Well, there are two ways. First way is the tic-tac-toe method. What you do is you draw something like this. Tic-tac-toe diagram. So now what you're going to do is you're going to place the first term, this first x squared term, bottom left row here. You're going to place this last term in this row here. And then you're going to place this middle term, 37x, into this last row here. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to find two numbers that when multiplied together will be equivalent to 5x squared. So first let's try the 5x times x. So 5x times x will be 5x squared, now 14. So let's try 2 times 7 first. 2 times 7 is 14. And now we're going to cross multiply. So x times 2 will be 2x. 5x times 7 will be 35x. And now we're going to get these two numbers and we're going to add them together. So 2x plus 35x. And we're going to see if this is going to be equivalent to this number right here. Which in this case, it is 2x plus 35x is equivalent to 37x, which is also equivalent, is 37x. So now that we know these numbers are correct, what do we do with them? We place them like we place the first column of numbers right here in the first bracket, so 5x plus 2, and this in the second bracket, x plus 7. Okay, so let's check if our answer is the same as this, and it actually is. So there's another method of factorization which I'm about to show you. It's called slide and divide. So essentially, let's use this polynomial again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the coefficient of this x squared term, going to move it and multiply with 14 over here. So and now we're going to find two numbers that multiply to be 70 and add up to be 37. So let's try 35 times 2 first, because 35 times 2 will be 70. So plus 2, 35 plus 2 will be 37, which is the exact same answers. So now we know that m is equivalent to 35 and n will be equivalent to 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write it in a form like this. So like x plus n and x plus n. So we have to find the values of m and n. And now that we have the values of m and n right here, we're going to plug it in. Okay. And now what we're going to do is the coefficient of the x squared term, we're going to divide the m and n term with this a term right here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see if the result of this will be an integer. So 35 divided by 5 will be an integer, will be 7. So the x plus 7. But if it turns out to be like a decimal, not an integer, we're going to move the 5 to the front in the bracket. So 5 times x will be 5x. So this will be the final product. So yeah. So this is going to be the tic-tac-toe method, and this is going to be the split and divide method. So we're going to go back to expansion. Okay, so let's try to expand some equations with these formulas right here. So first equation, 7x plus 2 times 7x minus 2. So now how do we expand this? Well, you could expand it by doing what I taught you earlier, just expanding it normally. But you may have already noticed that this equation, this and this is the same, this and this is the same number. So the fastest way to do this is we're going to use the first formula right here. Bracket a plus b times bracket a minus b is going to be equivalent to a squared minus b squared. So in this scenario, a will be 7x and b will be 2. So now is equal to 7x squared minus 2 squared. Alright, so 2 squared is just going to be 4 if you simplify it. That is going to be the final answer for this. So now let's look at the next problem. Okay, so this is going to be the next problem. A plus 7 squared bracket A plus 49. Well, first let's simplify what we can in this bracket. So 7 squared will just be 49 so now we have this A plus 49 bracket A plus 49. So these two are multiplying with each other. So it's going to be A plus 49 squared. And now we're going to use the second formula to simplify this. A plus B bracket squared equivalent to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. So now let's look at this. So A is just going to be equivalent to A, and B is just going to be equivalent to 49. And so I'm going to plug these values in. A squared plus 2AB, which is 49, plus B squared, which is 49 squared. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify this. So A squared plus 2 times 49, it will be 98, so 98A plus 49 squared. You can simplify this number right here. Now I don't know if you can leave it like this, but for this video I'm just going to leave it like this, because it's quite a big number, 49 squared. Now I don't recommend you leave it in this form. I recommend you just simplify the 49 squared, but I'm lazy, so next question. Okay, so this multiply with this, that's going to be bracket 8y minus 2 squared. So it's just going to be the same thing as this, but instead of plus we got minus. So let's use the third formula we have right here. So the values of this, A will be equal to 8y and B will be equal to negative 2. So just going to plug it in. A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. And B squared will be negative 2. So let's just do that. So 8 times 8 will be 64. As y times y will be y squared. So now let's look at this. Negative 2 times negative 2 will be positive 4. So this is going to be positive, and positive 4 times 8y, 32y. So, and of course negative 2 squared will be 4. Okay. Now what if you want to factorize like equations like this back? Well, you could just use these standard methods I had given you, or you could just use the formulas again. What do I mean by that? Well, for the first formula, 7x squared minus 4. Let's say you only have this and the question tells you to factorize 7x squared minus 4. We're going to check if 4 is a perfect square, which is it is. So 7x squared minus 2 squared. And we're going to use the formula to factorize it back into this factorized form. So that's about it. If you have any questions, just ask me. So goodbye.